What's going on, everybody? Just a really quick one before we start off today's video. Obviously, the Wolves Weekly normally comes out at Wednesday at 7 PM. The video was all ready to go out. I had a quick watch. I think it even went out for a couple of minutes live, and there was something really wrong with the audio. So, well, not the audio, just the video in general. So, I really do apologise for that. It is out a day later, but hopefully it should be back to normal from next week. Thanks for your ongoing support. Make sure you hit the like button down below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and enjoy the video. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new installment of Wolves Weekly. As it has been a couple of weeks, I can't wait for this series to start again. It is the 4th of October. It is Wednesday. It is 7 PM when this video drops. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you're always up to date, and hit the like button down below. As I say, it's normally every Wednesday. We had a week off last Wednesday as I was away at Sheffield United with Wolves. But obviously we'll get on to talking about that later on during the episode. So as it's been 2 weeks, there's quite a lot to get through. But we're going to start off with the question of the day from 2 weeks ago. And it was regarding the drums in the atmosphere. So the question was, if Wolves allowed a drum or drums into the stand, would you be for it or against it? It was really interesting. We had sort of mixed reviews. But on Twitter, I did a poll. If you don't follow me on Twitter, go and check that out in the link down below. We did a poll with definitely or no thanks, and 213 views, and it was 50-50 in the end. So more or less half of the people said no, half of the people said yes. So it was really close on that front. People on YouTube were fairly positive for it. I mean, I've got some answers here on the other monitor. Something Sam says, yes, it would make the atmosphere amazing. You've got Al, who says definitely, yes, because it would create more atmosphere within the Molyneux. Trick Pill says, and Jerry Gamboni said the drum sounded great. Why not trial it for 2 or 3 home games? And I don't think that's a bad shout, to be fair. Robert also says, oh hell yeah. If you look at most continental teams, they've always got a drum going to create atmosphere. Would love an ultra section where all the nutters can go. So pretty interesting thoughts. I mean, a lot of you guys on the YouTube video were fairly positive for it, but on Twitter, as I say, it was fairly 50-50. So now we move on to the news. As I say, couple of weeks, quite a bit to catch up on, but we'll go with more recent news and the fact that Wolves are offering free coach travel for anyone that wants to go to the Norwich away game. It's in a couple of weeks' time. It is a Tuesday night. It is quite a trek, to be fair, to Norwich. But I think the coaches leave at around 2:30 from the Molyneux. It's a great gesture. I think Laurie Dalrymple came out with it. And, you know, Wolves, in my memory, for the last few years, I think they did it for a couple of games. But mainly Carlisle away, I think, when we were in League One. Again, that was a bit of a trek. But it's good that they're doing it for Norwich to thank the fans for the support so far, and thank, you know, a good start to the season. And I think that'll definitely sell out now 100% with that free travel option. Talking about away days and allocation, obviously 2 weeks ago we hadn't had the Carabao Cup draw, but now we know that Wolves got drawn against Manchester City away. Such a fantastic tie for Wolves to be involved in. It's a really good test to the team. And it's a great away day as well. For me personally, I've never been to the Etihad, and I'm sure a few Wolves fans haven't been there yet. Wolves got given 5,500 allocation. The ticket prices were really good. £10 for adults or £9 with a season ticket, and £5 for under 21s, I think seniors, and maybe a little bit less as well for under sort of 16s or under 18s. So it was ridiculously good price. I've already grabbed my ticket. Do let me know in the comment section if you're going to that game. But a big spectacle for Wolves, so make sure you click that subscribe button, because there'll obviously definitely be a vlog for that out as soon as the game is over. So contract news to go through as well. 2 new contracts for first team players. First off, Matt Doherty picked himself up a 4-year contract of right back, or right wing back now. He's had a fairly solid start to the season. Again, he hasn't had much competition, if I'm honest. We've seen other players play there, or attempt to play there, in Jordan Graham, Ben Marshall, and obviously more recently Oscar Burr had to go there in the last round of the Cup as well. But he's gained himself a new contract, along with Connor Cody as well, with a 4-year contract. I think obviously he got the contract before he picked up that red card against Sheffield United, which we'll talk about later on. But again, he's been really good. Came into the club as a central midfielder, played predominantly as a right back last season, and he's come in as a centre half this season, and not done too bad up until last week, if I'm honest. 4-year contract, I think, is just to add a little bit of value onto him. You know, obviously don't want to presume things too much, but say we do go up to the Premier League. In 3 years' time, is he still a Premier League quality defender? I'm not too sure. So I think that's just to add a little bit of value onto him. Can move on to Prince Oniangi now as well, who was shown on his Instagram page in training, back in training at the Sir Jack Hayward training ground. Very, very strange though that, well, it's good to see him training. Obviously, I still think he's got something to offer to the team, but he was omitted from the squad photo. The squad photo was a week or so ago now, and he was nowhere to be seen, not in the under-23s one and not in the first team photo either. So it was a strange one on that front, but there is a video of him which should be somewhere on the screen now of him training at the training ground and doing some sort of warm-up drills. It'd be interesting to see if he is involved at any point this season before January. We can now move on to the games. So we've missed 3 games in the last 2 weeks. We'll kick off with the first one, which was Barnsley at home. And it was a little bit of last-minute drama as Wolves picked up the 2-1 win there. Wolves never really got going, if I'm honest. Grabbed the goal in the second half with Bright Enabakari with a lovely finish, to be fair to him. And again, Wolves conceding late on and struggling to clear their lines from set pieces, which we tend to struggle at quite a lot. But fortunately, the super sub Alfred Ndiaye came on and slid home for the victory and grabbed Wolves a late win there. We then moved on to the game against Sheffield United at Bramall Lane, where Wolves ended up losing 2-0. Leon Clark grabbing a brace against his old club. That ex-player curse coming back to haunt us, and Connor Cody picking up an early red card, which on first, I was being a bit biased. At first, before I was right in front of it, was a little bit harsh. I think the tug was a bit harsh. A yellow would have been fine, but luckily I think it's only a 1-match ban in the end. So he should be back for the Villa game. I think it is next time out. And you know, in the end, 2-0. I think obviously with 11 men we would have done a lot better. And then we move on to the game against Burton. Unfortunately, I wasn't there on Saturday just gone, but Wolves picked up a resounding 4-0 victory with goals from Diogo Jota, Leo Bonatini, Romain Saiss, and Ruben Vinagre. Trying to think who it was, but obviously he's on the thumbnail. So Ruben Vinagre bagging his first goal, along with Romain Saiss as well, in over a year and a half now, grabbing his first Wolves goal. But we've got a few people to talk about those games. We've got Jack and Finerrz again, who are both here. They've both got their own channels, both do vlogs as well, so make sure you check them out. There will be a link to them at the end of the video, or definitely go and check them out in the description down below.
We had 3 games in the space of a week, starting off with Barnsley at home on the Saturday. In fact, beating them late on 2-1. It wasn't at our best once again, but that just shows he's still winning games, and it's a positive sign that even when you're not at your best, he's still grinding out results. Nuno's subs were obviously the difference in this game, bringing on Bright and Alfred Ndiaye, where many fans had questioned Costa was on the bench, so majority of them would have preferred him to come on, but it proved vital. Obviously, Bright getting the first goal of the game instantly, and teeing it up to Bright, and all he had to do was pass it into the far right corner to start off. However, Barnsley pegged us back and did equalise late on. And I assure you, last season under Lambert, we would not have come back from it. We would have stood and took the 1 point and not gone on to win the game like we did. Instantly replying after the equaliser, coming on an attack, Bright laying it through to Bonatini, and a normal striker there would have perhaps gone for goal. But Leo put it on a plate to Alfred Ndiaye to slot it home to give us a vital win, which you could say it's the most dramatic and best win of the season so far, considering the circumstances of us fighting back late on to still get the 3 points. The second game of the week came away at Sheffield United. To start with, both teams were creating chances. However, that was until the key moment of the game, when Leon Clark was set through and Cody was last man and decided to pull him back. So the ref did award a red card, which meant we was down to 10 men after just only 15 minutes. So 75 minutes with 10 men against a team like Sheffield United is hard. Even 11 is hard enough. Of course, the curse of an ex-player scoring against Wolves happened. Clark, it's probably the easy opportunity for him of the season. It was laid on a plate for him to slot it home into an empty net. However, after the break, we came out fighting, and it looked like we had nothing to lose. 10 men and just play out there and just try and get a result. And Jota, in fact, won us a penalty. However, never stepped up and did in fact hit the post. It seemed as if like when he was taking his run up, he didn't actually want it. If we'd have gone on to have scored that, we could have maybe have pressed and got another goal, or the game would have been a lot different. I'm quite sure of it. But then after we was on the front foot, we was controlling the game for a bit. Free kick was whipped in and Clark to head home for his second of the game. The final game of the week came Saturday away at Burton Albion on the back of a 4-0 loss. Both teams would want to fight back after their midweek losses, and that is exactly what we did. Nuno couldn't have asked for any more from our players. To beat them 4-0, it was only a matter of time before we destroy a team, and that's what we did. Realistically, we could have scored 6 or 7. We just dominated throughout. Neves, for me, he looked at himself and looked why we paid that price tag. Vinagre personally was my man of the match. I thought he was unreal, the same as Cavallero. Jota, Saiss actually getting a goal, his first for the club. Vinagre on a mad run, teed up by Cavallero, who did in fact get 3 assists on Saturday, and finished off by Bonatini. So it was all around great performance. Another clean sheet and a thumping win to send us back into the automatic promotion places in second. We're currently only 1 point from behind Cardiff, who were in first place. And I saw a stat after Wednesday night's game that in the last 10 times we've gone up to or as a higher division, this season we've got more points than all of those seasons, so that's promising signs. It just seems like a new look Wolves, and fans are coming back. We're selling out each week, and yeah, it's just an enjoyable time at the moment for a Wolves fan.
What's up guys, it is Finerrz here, and this time I'm giving you my review on Burton, as I was lucky enough to get a ticket and see that 4-0 thrashing. We were just utterly dominant, to be fair. I wasn't there on Wednesday night, but I heard we weren't too good. Obviously sending off didn't help, and I did dread today, Saturday even, that missing Cody would be a big thing, like having a talker in the middle. Danny Batth was amazing, to be fair, and the front three, I could see that working for a long time this season. Just having those three, the pace was just incredible. Coming up against such slow defenders like they had, it was just like amazing. On the break we looked like we were going to score every time, but yeah. Defence was solid, midfield were incredible. I thought Neves had his best game in a while. He's been slipping off the standards a little bit, but yeah, really came back today. And as for the front three, it's just we're so lucky to have those three as a front three in a championship club, and hopefully they'll be the front three in the Premier League next year. But yeah, all round just an amazing game, and yeah, amazing to be there.
So thanks for that again, boys. I really do appreciate that. As I say, go and check those boys out. Got vlogs for those games that, you know, definitely enjoyable as well. All the games that I don't go to, more or less one of those two will go to those as well. So we then move on. Some news, well, stats really. Diogo Jota has now scored 6 goals. He's 6 goals before the end of September, and the only other player to do so in the last 10 years was big Chris Uwalumo, who fired Wolves and helped fire Wolves up into the Premier League with a good amount of goals in his partnership with Sylvain Ebanks-Blake. Another rumour, or coming out of the Express's Star with Tim Spears, is that Wolves are still hoping to sign Diogo Jota on a permanent deal in January. I think, obviously, I said in the last Wolves Weekly that something was lined up, but Wolves are very interested in signing him permanently before, you know, January is even over. And Wolves, another interesting stat, started 6 Portuguese players on Saturday against Burton, and only 3 top flight Portuguese teams started more Portuguese players than Wolves. In other news, Kevin Doyle has announced his retirement from football. Had a good innings. It was a good amount of years, and he was a very good striker. He was a record signing at the time, but he's retired due to injuries. I think I've read into it, and it's to do with sort of headaches and stuff like that as well, which I know a few years ago, some research into football, obviously with the head in there, the ball, and so on. So he's a little bit worried about that. So he's retired a little bit earlier than maybe he would have hoped. But obviously we wish Doyle all the best for the future. We'd love to see him, obviously, as a pundit, a coach, or a manager. He was a wonderful player at times. He got a little bit of stick, probably due to his goal record more than anything. But he was a very good player who had a good work rate as well. So we wish Kevin all the best for the future. And again, in other news, really got announced today that the Waterloo Road will be closing. they're trying it from the Aston Villa game. So basically, obviously, I'm sure you're aware of the Molineux. You've got where the Molineux is, the Billy right, the main stand. You've got the Asda to the right of that. The road there, which follows in front of the Billy Wright statue, will be shut because the amount of people, there must be thousands upon thousands walking across that road, walking in front of cars, walking behind cars, and so on. So it is really, really dangerous. I'm surprised there hasn't really been a serious accident there. But now, I think about 90 minutes before the game starts, they're going to be closing it. And for about half an hour or so after the game as well, it will be closed until the area is more or less clear. So thumbs up to Wolves for, looking after the safety of the team as well. But the team, I do mean the fans. Now, we haven't had rather, a question of the day so far. So we've been talking about away days a little bit. So the question of the day today is, what was your first ever away game? Or if you haven't been, are you planning on doing an away game this season? Do let me know. So what was your first ever away game? Or if you haven't been, which away game would you like to be your first? Comment section down below. Thanks to everyone that, again, answered the question of the day last time. And thanks again to Finerrz and Jack. Anyone can do these match reviews, by the way, guys. If you go to the match, obviously there won't be a match this week, but if you go to the match next time, and you just want to do a little 30-second, that's all it's going to be, 20-second, 30-second video review of what you thought, how good were the goals, and so on, referee, all sorts. All you have to do is DM it to me on Twitter, and I'm sure I'll be able to help you out. But until next time, guys, make sure you smash the like button down below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And until next time, I'll see you all very, very soon.